Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the ECM 30 day slash 6 weeks look ahead for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. And I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video recently was our 6am upload of 10 to 14 day with all the regular features coming up for you later on this afternoon. So please like, share, subscribe on videos, and we thank you so very much everyone for doing that. Thank you so much to ECMDF.int for supplying the charts. It's amazing, it's incredible. Thank you so much, EC. We'll do it then, shall we? Oh, sorry everybody. So we're going to begin with the week 1 500 millibar height on. No mean cell pressure on, taking us from the 10th through the 17th of October. This week is looking unsettled, much of Northern Europe with low pressure in off the Atlantic. High pressure is across southern and also eastern parts of Europe. So classic northwest to southeast split. Most unsettled weather will be in the north and west with jet stream. Driest weather will be in the south and east with the ridge. 500 millibar heights on from the Arctic North Pole view down shows back up very nicely. Again, below average heights are up to the north, above average heights ridging into west and the south of Europe. And again, in comes the jet stream. Temperature anomalies look like that. Quite warm in most parts of Europe. A little bit cooler than average for the UK and Ireland, actually. And also some of these extreme eastern and southeastern parts of Europe are a little bit cool. But actually, most places are mild. Scandinavia standing out as being quite mild. Low countries through to Poland and western Ukraine looking quite mild. France is above average. Spain, Portugal above average. Central part of the Med is warm than average. Italy is warm than average. The Balkans looking quite warm too. Just as extreme southeastern eastern part of Europe looks a little bit cooler. And precipitation wise, we're looking like that too. Above average rainfall in the northwest, so like northern France, UK, Ireland, most parts of Scandinavia, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, up to Finland, mild, wetter than average through there. Meanwhile, further south, dry than normal across much of southern Europe, so most parts of Med looking dry. The Balkans through to eastern parts of Europe looks dry. The northeast of Europe looks quite dry as well. And what about the Baltic Sea states? How are they looking? They're looking a little bit on the drier side too, although maybe some of that unsettled weather from Scandinavia might threaten Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, etc., etc., etc. Right, well, that's week 1 done. Week 2 will take us from the 17th to 24th of October. So high pressure dominates across much of southern, eastern, southeast Europe. Low pressure from the Atlantic into northern and western Europe still. We have got some blocking in the North Atlantic, but actually it looks like it's still quite mild across most parts of Europe, bringing up winds from the southwest. See 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So again, we see the above average heights from southern Europe into central and also some eastern parts of Europe. Lower pressure, below average heights out to the north and west, so more settled through there. And then a mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland type scenario there. Temperature anomalies generally turn warmer in this week, so cooler than average just to the north and west of Scotland and Ireland, and also the far southeastern corner around Greece, possibly to Turkey, a little bit on the cool side there. Otherwise, though, above average temperatures in most areas, and quite substantially so, actually, through the central and these western, central, and like northern parts of Europe. There, we're in the red colours, which is like 3 to 6 degrees above that, so a very mild week to come, actually, through France, into Germany, Poland, again, going northwards towards the Russian border as well. Really significantly above average in those localities. And a bit of a freeway here for the precipitation anomaly. So drier than normal out in the Atlantic. From Iceland into North Atlantic, that's where the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is. Wetter than normal then through the north and west of Europe, from the UK and Ireland all the way up to Scandinavia, and then drier than normal again for most parts of southern eastern and southeastern Europe. So many parts of the Med looking pretty dry. Probably quite a nice week going on holiday actually through the central Balkan of the Med. Looks relatively warm and dry there, doesn't it? Around the Adriatic coast of the Balkans. Again, I think you're going to have quite a nice week there for late holiday makers into Greece, Turkey. Might be a little bit on the cool side for some of the Greek islands, but not too bad at all. Wettest weather definitely in the north and west, so France, northern and western Germany, into the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, UK, looking quite wet, as does Ireland, I would have thought. And then northern Scandinavia, Denmark, Sweden, again, wetter than normal condition through here. That's that one done. Week 4 will be the 24th to the 31st of October. Looks like the high pressure begin to retreat a little bit towards North Africa. Low pressure across the north and west but Europe. Otherwise, it's a weakening signal. 500 millibar high time, looks like that. This will be quite an unsettled October for the north and west Europe, if this is right. Always dominated by low pressure right way towards month's end. So it should definitely make up the rainfall deficit quite a bit this October, if this is correct. So looking quite unsettled there. Below average heights, dry across southern and eastern parts of Europe. Temperature anomalies, again, generally above average in most areas, a little bit cooler out to the northwest, so near average, or no signal really, is a bit cooler than average around Iceland, just to the north of Scotland. Otherwise, above average, though, with temperature much of France, down Spain, Portugal, above average, central part of Med, warmer than average, Italy, warmer than average, eastern parts of Europe, like the Balkans to the Black Sea, warmer than average there, and then northwards up toward the Baltic Sea states and into the far east and northeast of Europe, warmer than average here too. The precipitation anomaly, north-south split, so drier than average across southern Europe, wetter than average across northern Europe. And then we get this swathe in between, but finely balanced. Week 4 will be the 31st of October to the 7th of November. Weakening signals now. But some higher pressure in the far east and southeast Europe. Otherwise, I'm going to put in a couple of question marks, I think. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly, see what that's doing. So again, we see this ridge in the east and the southeast of Europe. There's some higher pressure up towards Svalbard and around the, you thought I was going to be silly then, didn't you? And towards the Azores. Otherwise, there's a question mark. Temperature anomalies look like that. Most areas average or above, really average or above in the west of Europe, average or above in the east of Europe, maybe just a little bit cooler through Scandinavia, possibly into northern Britain and Ireland. You know, it's a very weak signal by this point though. And precipitation-wise, it is a weakening signal, but broadly still the same, really, with rather above average rainfall in the far north and west of Europe, and then much of southern Europe, hinting anyway at relatively dry conditions. Right, that's your 30-day forecast done. Let's just go through weeks 5 and 6 data while we're here, because why not? So that's how week 5 is looking, 7th to 14th of November. Generally higher pressure across most parts of Europe. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. Higher pressure to our north and west maybe, and possibly over towards the far eastern side of Europe. Well, going to be a trough through here. And a dip in the jet stream. I wonder. Question mark, question mark. Temperature anomaly. So, relatively warm in the far west, much as southern Europe, relatively warm, and in the far east. Could that be a cooler swathe through there? Maybe, maybe, maybe. And the precipitation anomaly is a bit on the dry side through Spain, Portugal, France into the UK, a little bit on west side in the northeast. Otherwise, it's week 6. And then lastly, week 6 will take us from 14th to 21st of November. How's that one looking? So some higher pressure sitting just to our north and east then, maybe. Could that be a bit of into a Scandi? Could it? Let me know in the comments what you think. Could that be into a bit of blocking? A bit of Scandi and maybe like an easterly trying to get going. There's some low pressure down there. I don't know. It's a very weak signal. Let's have a look at 500 millibar height anomaly. So that just looks generally quite anticyclonic, really, through much of northern West Europe. So there's a flip here from what is a very unsettled October, dominated by low pressure, to a much more anticyclonic signal, drier signal for November, you would have thought. Temperature-wise, still quite warm or mild across much of southern Europe. The milder weather is retreating out into the Atlantic, and elsewhere, much of Europe actually doesn't have much of a signal. Precipitation-wise, finally, we're like that. Though it's a bit wetter than average across some southern parts of Europe. And maybe hints at being a bit dry further north, but it is a very, very weak signal. Right, well, we're done then. That's your birthday look ahead done and dusted. Remember, any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings and large pinches of salt attached. So this week it looks like it's very unsettled, really, for much of northern Western Europe for October. Drier and warmer further south and east, and then maybe that flips around a little bit in November and it turns drier and more anticyclonic in the north of Europe in November, while the south perhaps gets a little bit more unsettled. But then again, that's a long way off, and this is only why it's shown, this week could look completely different when we look at this model next week for our 30-day European outlook. We will have a look at this model again on Saturday morning, though, and that will be focusing primarily on Ireland and on the UK as well. So our 42-day forecast for the UK for Ireland will be released on Saturday morning. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please like the video before you check out. Drop a comment. Let us know which this handle. Excuse me once again. All of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. And thank you so much for doing that. We're going to be back shortly with the 10 to 14 day. That's going to include all our breaker features. Come back for that one then. But for the EC 30-day forecast for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.